Good afternoon, guys. How's everyone doing on this nice and sunny Thursday afternoon? I hope the sun's shining wherever you are. I hope you're all doing well in life, and yeah, I hope you're all doing well. So, welcome to my channel, guys. Joey Barnett TV. Now, if you flick back through my videos, it might have been 6 months ago. A video about Dovegate Prison, Hmp Dovegate. I mentioned one of my very good pals who I was in there with alongside my co-defendant Lionel, and his name was Squaddy. So if you flick back on that video, watch that video, and watch this video after you've watched that first one, and you won't believe it. That in Hmp Dovegate, I think it was around 2000, I don't know. When it comes to be honest with you guys, when it comes to years, times, not even names, sometimes I've completely forgotten, and I think that's where I've done so much bird over the years. That's exactly what it is, and a little bit of PTSD too. But yeah, in Dovegate back in the day when I was in there with my Cody Lionel, and we linked up with a guy called Squaddy. He was a Rasta Dread guy, and a smashing guy, one of your completely own. And to be honest with you, it shocked me a little bit, because at some stage going through my criminal career, I thought everyone outside of London was not on the same wavelength as us from London. If you know if you get what I'm saying, guys. I didn't underestimate anyone from outside London, but I didn't think anyone from outside London would be on the same level as us Londoners. And then I was completely surprised when we linked up, me and my co-defendant Lionel linked up with Squaddy in Dovegate, which was in a place called Utoxeter. Lionel obviously knew him from one of his links, and but I didn't know him, and yeah, I got to know him very well in there. And to say that we lived like kings in there, and we absolutely smashed it, and we did the best what we could do, out of that, in that situation of being in prison. I can't exactly remember what bird squad he was doing, how long he was doing. I think right, so yeah, it's coming back to me vaguely, because don't forget, this is well over 20 years plus ago. He was doing a straight sentence. He wasn't doing a life sentence. He was doing something like a 16-year or 18-year sentence. Silly numbers. I was doing 12 years, and my Cody Lionel, I got quite a few Codys, but one of my Codys, Lionel, he got a 13. So we was all doing very long sentences, all doing double figures, and we was the first few actually went into Dovegate when it first got put up, when it first opened up. And if you flip back on my videos, you'll see it was a little bit frustrating at times, because there wasn't screws. It'd been prison. This prison was private, so it'd been privatised, like other prisons have nowadays. But and it was completely new. And the screws, they wasn't called screws. They was called wardens or something like that. But yeah, they didn't have no experience for working in prisons, especially long-term as prisons at that. They should have at least got some experience of going into some type of a prison. But to deal with a long-term prisoner, you've got to know your shit as a screw, because long-term prisoners go on a little bit different than short-term prisoners. And we're taken quite a lot seriously, more seriously. And to clarify all this and to vouch all this, Yammy's there and all. He was in the Cat A's with me, but this is Dovegate what I'm talking about. So yeah, it was frustrating at first in there. Just the basic things like going up to a screw and asking a screw for a visiting order, a visiting slip to get your visits. And that screw or that officer, whatever you want to call him, a warden, was looking on a computer or a laptop and actually reading out the protocols of how they go about of giving out VOs to inmates, and everything you ask the screw for, every single thing you ask them for, they just said to you, can you put an application in? Can you put an application in? But yeah, if you ask the same type of questions in an HMP normal prison, you get the answer straight away from the screw. So there's a lot of difference. Do you know what I mean? And you know, if it comes to choice, I'd all day long have a normal screw that works in a normal prison rather than a private prison. I don't know about nowadays. Do you know what I mean? But and then they started trying to, well, they wasn't trying, they was calling most of the inmates by their first names, and this was completely out of my catchment zone type of thing. You know, they was never my friends, and the only people that called me by my first name was my pals, and I would never class the screw as one of my pals. But a lot of people in Dovegate, you know, was having this and was letting the screws call them by their first name. And to me, you know, familiarity breeds contempt, and you don't do that. It's like crossing the line. I don't know. I might have old school values, old school morals, but that's always been the way for me. You know, in a normal prison in Parkhurst, Whitemoor, or any cat jail, you know, if a screw calls an inmate by their first name, that inmate is looked at like he's a grass, and that is the dead honest truth, because you don't have conversations with screws. But in this Dovegate prison, there is inmates having full-on conversations with screws, you know, making cups of tea for them, reading, doing crosswords with them, and sitting down watching films with them, playing pool with them, playing snooker with them. So yeah, you know, this is what I'm saying. It was very frustrating at first going into Dovegate as probably the first 20 inmates what had gone in there when it first opened up. After a few months, it did take me a few months too to get used to it. After a few months, I did start coming around a little bit, but I never come around to the fact of like the screws calling me by my first name. I nipped it in the bud straight away and told them straight, look, listen, you're not my pals, you're never going to be my pals, so don't think you can call me by my first name. That's just how I rolled, and that's how I done my whole prison sentence, with that fine line between myself and between screws, because I've brought up with old-fashioned morals, old-fashioned, you know, values, and you know, one of the old school. So yeah, anyway, in Dovegate, we had a great time, me, Squaddy, and my Cody Lionel, and yeah, I'm not gonna this is what I'll tell you what's made me do this video today, because after all of these years, Squaddy's missus has just sent me a friend request on Facebook. I didn't know who she was or anything, but I thought there's something about this profile which seemed correct. It's not a fake profile. I accepted the request. The next thing, I've got a messenger. I've looked on my messenger, and it's from this female what just friend requested me. I opened the message up, and it said Squaddy sends his best and he really likes the video. So yeah, after all these years, Squaddy, I don't know how long he's been out, but he's landed and he's watching my videos. It's absolutely shot me to bits, because you know, I didn't initially do that Dovegate prison video with the intentions of like people like Lionel, my Cody, Squaddy, and that watching. But I'm so glad they did. I really am glad they did, because you know, it all vouches and it all tallies up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, what a coincidence, eh? Squaddy's missus messaging me saying that he really liked the video, and yeah. Hope you're doing really, really well, Squaddy, and bruv, I'm so glad you're out, bruv. I really am glad you're out, and it's been a long old time, bruv. And yeah, what I'll do is, Squaddy, is I'll give my that's what I'll do. Do you know what? I'm so shocked that like he misses his message me. I'm like lost for words. But what I'll do, Squaddy, I'd like to give Squaddy a big shout out, by the way, across this video. Big up, Squaddy, from Birmingham, and I'll be giving your missus my phone number, and we're going to be having a chat soon, bruv, and having a chat about the good old days and having a bit of banter, making each other laugh. And do you know what? Wouldn't it be good, guys, to actually get Squaddy onto my channel, to do a live or to do a podcast with me, and you know, we can talk about each other's stories, and you know, because I was in there with him for a good couple of years. I think it was a good couple of years. It might have been like, I don't know, 16 months, 18 months before we all got swagged out. Because if you go back to my video about Dovegate, you'll see we all got swagged out. We all had dog and bones, and we was the chaps in there. Do you know what I mean? And you know, the screws got wind of it and come for us early hours in the morning when we was like way dreaming. No one heard them coming. They crept in all in black, like they was going on a bit of work outside. This is the truth. They crept in all in black, very, very silent. That, you know, they was tiptoeing and cracked each one of our doors, bent us up, swagged us, took us down the block, and they swagged each and every one of us in our firm. I'm not going to mention anyone else who was in my firm. I'm not going to mention Squaddy's real name, but that's his street name from Birmingham, and I'm sure that everyone knows who I'm talking about. Big up, Squaddy, bruv. But yeah, we got we got swagged out and got separated. And from Dovegate, I went to so I went from Whitemoor. I was a Cat A in Whitemoor, and then when I got downgraded, I had to have reviews, go on meetings, and it took months and months to come off the book as a Cat A prisoner. But yeah, I did do that in the end, and after a couple of years, and that's when I went to Dovegate. So from Dovegate, where did I go to from there? Right, I went to Swellside from Dovegate. We all got shipped out. You know, we all got swagged down the block. I was down the block for around 20 minutes, and literally we got handcuffed. Do you know what? When they swagged us out of our cells, they literally bent our arms up our back. They handcuffed our wrist to each the bottom of our legs, so we was handcuffed from behind, and they thrust us up. They literally lifted us up like chickens, and like we were swinging like that. But it was really, really painful. I remember it. And yeah, they swagged us and chucked us on the floor down the chokey, and then 20 minutes later, dragged us out the cell and threw us straight in the back of the sweatbox. And I landed in Swellside, I think like 5, 6 in the morning or something like that. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you enjoy my content. Big up, Squaddy, man. Love you, brother.